Hey party people, thanks so much for joining us with this week. We are really excited for the session this week. We are going to be talking about SeatLink and the overview, and we are very lucky to have Amanda here with us all the way from beautiful sunny Mexico to share some information with us. So today we're going to cover the overview, the quarterly add-on process, project timeline, and then we'll have a discussion around using active user count versus max user count for seat overages. Would love to hear your thoughts on the topics. And then as always, please add your questions to the doc I put in the chat. Take it away, Amanda.
Hey team, good to see everybody. Thank you for inviting me. Happy to walk through this. Just for logistics, I'm gonna walk through just a couple of slides, nothing too boring, and then we're gonna kick it off for some live discussion. So if you do have questions, go ahead and save them in the agenda and we'll get to all that in the Q&A session at the end. So why don't I go ahead and share, right? All right, so what we're talking about today is SeatLink. This is something that we've recently released, as well as what we're going to do with SeatLink, which is going to queue us up for quarterly billing. So at first we have the SeatLink service, which was put into the self-managed instance in milestone 12.9, which was the last one to release. We quickly followed it up with a patch because we received a lot of really great feedback that implementing it the way that we did without the ability to turn it off was a no-no. And so today it is now in 12.9 with the patched version with the ability to turn it off. So what is SeatLink? It's a service that is sending active users, and I put in parentheses here billable because, and you'll see this in other parts of my presentation, because there's actually a little bit of confusion around active users in the self-managed instance. The literal meaning of active users and the appearance of the label active users in some places means any user who is not deactivated or blocked. That doesn't mean that they're billable. Okay, so the is using seat label tells us if it's taking up a paid seat. Basically, billable users are any active user who is not a bot created by GitLab, which is the alert bot and support bot, as well as any users with guest permissions on an ultimate subscription. Those are the only active users, or the only active users, non-blocked, non-deactivated, that do not count for billable. So we're sending that count every day. We're sending the max users count, the actual license file, so that we can join the data to the right license, and the date of the day that we're pulling the information. So some people have compared this to telemetry or to usage ping. This is nowhere near the breadth of the data that's being collected in those other initiatives. This is literally just the 2 user counts, the date, and the license, so that we can get to automated billing. I'm mentioning here that it can be disabled now via an admin setting or in the config file before the version is installed for those folks who are completely shut down and cannot send any data even behind a firewall. And this data will be used for my next topic, which is the quarterly add-on process. So with the ability to now see into connected customers' instances, we can now automatically bill for any seat overages. I hope you didn't just hear both my children say they needed to. I apologize. Okay, so for quarterly seat overages, what does this mean? So the process is automatically driven by the customer's portal. This has no sales intervention whatsoever as long as this is a connected customer. On the last day of every quarter, and this is not a calendar quarter, but a subscription quarter. So on the last day of each of their quarters, we will look at the counts that were provided, and we will determine if there's an overage based on the license seat amount. If there is an overage, we're going to automatically bill for that overage, and this is if they have a credit card on file or not. If they do have it on file, we'll charge it. If not, we'll just invoice them. This process will happen in quarters 1 through 3. In the 4th quarter, if there's an overage, they get to own that. They don't have to pay for it. And it will be booked at effective price, not at the list price. So the effective price of the original subscription. The add-on will co-terminate and end with the subscription end date. We will not historically charge back for true-ups. So as an example, if they went over in the very first quarter of the subscription, we're going to charge them for quarters 2 through 4, but we're not going to charge them for quarter 1. This will generate an automated invoice to the customer out of the Zora application. A license will be sent for the remainder of the subscription term with the add-on added to it, and an automated Salesforce opportunity will be created as closed won. In both of those slides, I give you the links to issues or docs where relevant. So timeline-wise, we're looking at SeatLink has already been deployed, so I've already mentioned that. The quarterly billing piece where we actually start billing people, that work will release next month, May 22nd in milestone 13. So I suspect that the process will probably start June 1, but that's TBD still in terms of what date that will start. So we'll be back in touch with you about that. The SeatLink data will be made available to internal teams. We're still trying to determine if that will live in Salesforce or Periscope based on the amount of data that we're going to be capturing and providing. And we, again, will not be charging for true-ups prior to the subscription term any longer either. And enhanced data sent to Salesforce will be basically, today when we have a web order processed in the customer portal, it is sent to Salesforce with no information. You don't know what the counts were, you don't know what tier it was. So this enhanced data piece is going to send more rich information so that when you look at that closed won opportunity from the web portal, you know exactly what it was for. We're going to disable auto renew for any customers who are not sending us SeatLink data so that they're not auto renewing without the correct counts, so that a salesperson can get involved and make sure that we're asking the right information. And then we're working on creating an exportable seat data file from the user's instance for those customers who are decoupled or not sending us data, so that when sales has to engage for sales assisted orders, they will have the same data we would have collected if they turned SeatLink on. And then lastly, we have I'm going to mute my children one second. For those of you who can read lips, you probably know that I did not swear, so that's a parenting win today. Okay, so the last piece is we have an issue to create collateral for internal teams. So please go ahead and go out to that issue and let us know what kind of collateral your teams will need to make sure that you are successful when this does roll out. So if you need just handbook pages, or you want videos, or you want another enablement session, whatever it might be, just let us know.